Welcome to my sewing room. I'm Tia and this is Dorset.Threads. Hello, happy Saturday morning. So I'm in my car looking a bit dishevelled because I've just loaded up the boot and it's really hot and muggy. The sun doesn't seem to be putting in an appearance, but it's proper. We've had a lot of heat here lately and I'm off for the 20-minute journey to Rooted Finally Sewing Social Day. This was my setup. The fan was very much needed. It was very hot, although I did have the obligatory cup of tea. One of my friends on our sewing table started making resin buttons, really colourful, bright ones. We shall always call her the button lady. Another friend is doing a crafty seaside challenge and she was stamping the lampshade for this lamp she'd made. Oh my god, the sewing room got so hot, this was so needed. So the weather's very hot and muggy at the moment, so I'm getting good use out of my summer dresses already, which is great for June. This is the Sauvie Sundress, I think that's how you pronounce it, by Sew House 7, and I've made it in a Viscose from a Think Pink box, which is the Beyond the Pink Door subscription box from May last year. Let me just stand up to show you. So it's got the elasticated waist and these really nice inset pockets. I can't really show you here. Let me put in a picture of how it looks. So this is a catch up of what I've been doing this week, what I've been sewing up, what I've got in work in progress, and where I've been sewing wise and my plans for next week. And this is the line drawing of the Sauvie. I sort of combined the two, this one, the length of this one with the gathered waist, or the gathered waist here, and that's the one I prefer. I've made quite a few of those. So let's get started. So I'm going to kind of work backwards. So yesterday I spent the day with a lot of friends, fellow sewists at my local sewing social. This one's only, half an hour or so away from my house, which is fantastic. It was a very hot day, so we kind of had all the doors and windows open and everybody was, suffering a bit with the heat. A lovely group of ladies that we all join up once a month. It's run by Carly from Rooted Fabrics, the designer and owner of Rooted Fabrics. And it's just really great vibe. We have the music on, singing, the 80s tunes, and get lots of sewing and plenty of chatter as well. The project that I took with me to the social is this one here, which is the Nina Lee Holland Park dress with kind of the gathering here that then goes into the sleeves, well I say sleeves, the straps that go round. I actually did a wearable toile in the week because I wanted to make this up in one of my, recently bought fabrics. So I made a wearable toile up in the week with an equally nice fabric that I'd actually won as a raffle prize at another sewing social, which is run by Claire and Stacey Harper that I go to, which is in Southampton, Fareham Way. And it was just this lovely blue linen eucalyptus sleeves. And I made up the pattern and I thought, I hope that this really pans out well, because it's not really, this pattern, you don't really see the full effect of it all until you've got all the elastic in and everything. The pattern has channeling in the bodice, which pulls it all in, and then obviously depending on how tight you want to have or how close fitting, that's how you fit it, which is just phenomenal, because you know you've got none of this like, oh, it's a bit gappy here or whatever, and you can just fit it to your body. So I made that one up in the week, so let me just put a bit of footage in here. So the fabric I took along Saturday was this one, which you may have seen in my previous video on my fabric haul. And it's this Guthrie Ghani viscose linen with the, you know, very Greek island on it. And it's the Bougainville Island. I don't know how to say it, but this is it. Terrible accent. But I managed to get the dress I wanted out of the 2 meter cut, which is just great. Mainly because of my height, I actually took 10 inches in length out of the skirt panels, the skirt pieces, which, you know, it's obvious I'm going to have to take that much out. I'm 4'7", but it does make a big difference to obviously the amount of fabric you need. It doesn't have pockets, so I've used some pocket pieces from another pattern, and I've managed to insert them in the side seams there. So I've put my pocket pieces inside, and I've anchored them to the waist because that's how I prefer them, rather than flapping about like doggies on the skirt. The weight of the fabric can take it. So I managed, as you can see, to sew up the skirt portion with the pockets. I've put a basting line for the hem, but haven't hemmed it quite yet. So this is the bodice, and inside I used binding, specifically Specky Seamstress binding, which is like, comes like this. And it does give you pattern pieces to cut fabric out and make your own binding, but I've got quite a lot of this because, you know, it's so nice, the designs and everything. So I just sewed it inside, and then you're going to just put the thin elastic through the side seam, and that'll help draw it in. The final one at the bottom actually gets attached to your skirt and then pressed up and edge stitched down, and that'll be the waist seam as such, and then you can put your elastic in there, so draw it in just how you like it. I haven't done the straps yet, I didn't get around to those. I kind of wanted to do the main bulk of the pattern before I tackled those. If I show you the version that I made in the week, it's this one here, and as you can see, you have a neckline, you put the neckline piece, and you have the straps, and then you have the elastic go through and round, and that's what pulls it in. So there's a lot of stretch there, but actually it doesn't move when it's on. It's great, and you can obviously gather it as much as you'd like. Put a little label in this one because the colours match lovely, and this one has got the duck binding inside, which I thought was pretty cool. So I've got my secret ducks and my cats with hearts. The fit of the dress and everything, I think it's ideal. I'm quite happy with everything. I don't feel the need at the moment to adjust the bodice. I might further down the line make a few and then think, oh yeah, I might change it. But my bra straps do show on the back, and that's just the cut of the dress, because obviously the sleeves are coming up and over here. So at the front they cover the bar straps, but obviously they go over, there's a gap. I'm not going to mess with it. Again, it's behind me, I'm not that bothered. Yeah, that's not an issue for me, but that is a consideration if that is one of the things that might bug you if you were thinking about making this pattern. So the other possible tweak that I might think about making is the armholes. You have a facing, this is going to be for my new one, and I didn't have any issues putting them in. They're very clever actually designed, because you put the facing on and it hides the strap insertion where you've put it in, and where you've top stitched that, so you end up with quite a neat edge. But I'm not a fan of facings. I've already sewn this one down, as you can see, and I will probably top stitch it down as well, just to stop any shifting about. And also it means that the innards aren't a weak point in the washing machine, but that would just be a case of binding from there to there in the self fabric. So that's another consideration. At the beginning of the week, I had decided that I might try and make a little skirt. It might have been an option for one of the fruity fabrics for the So Fruity challenge on Instagram. I'll put some details later. So I had this Nina Lee Camden pattern, which is a pinafore and a skirt. I've made the skirt quite a few times, but I wanted to review the fit, and I had actually one cut out from last year, so I thought, well, perfect opportunity. So I made it up in that smaller size, and that's this one here. It's a nice denim, blue denim. I don't know where it's from. As I say, it was cut out last year. I've got the pockets. I don't know how clear you can see that, with a little bit of lining. I've always follow Andrea from the Beyond the Pink Doors YouTube sew along for the Camden skirt. She talks you through it, makes it a lovely sew, and I always tend to get a better outcome following her video, and especially with the zip insertion. Obviously this is an exposed zip rather than an invisible one, but because of the colour I thought it would be ideal. But following Andrea's sew along, you just get a nice finish. You don't get a gap at the bottom, and it always seems to like just fit just right at the top. So I made that one up at the beginning of the week, so that was good, and the sizing and the fit is really good. And it's So Fruity month this month. So I got this little Johnny viscose linen. I think I got it from Bornello Fabrics, but it was May last year, so you know, it's not in, I wouldn't have thought it was in their current stock, but yeah, that was from them. So I've had it a year in the waiting, so I'd like to get something sewn up in it. What patterns have I got for a viscose linen? It's on the good old Donny shirt. I've made it many a time. You know, the line drawing from the Friday Pattern Company. What I might do, I tend to not put the little pocket on. What I might do is make it up without the sleeves, and just see if I can get away with binding the sleeves, and actually that'd be quite nice for the summer. I decided to retrace and cut the pattern with my normal alterations, because my size has gone down a little bit. I always take a bit of length out of here because I'm quite short, you know, in the torso, but especially here, and if not, everything drops and then the arm side is too low and all the shebang. So I did that. I always put a little bit of length on it because I'm not a fan of a cropped, even in my short, you know, stature. That's just my preference. So I've got that all cut out. I kind of hope to start that next week, because obviously I want to get it done and finished before the end of June. I've managed to cut out and start sewing one of my recent purchases from Guthrie Ghani, the island, you know, the Greek island one. I also got this one. You'll see it in my fabric haul video, with the tiling. I thought I want to use a pattern I've already got, so I was thinking that maybe I'll use the Carolyn pajama top short sleeve here. It's sort of, do they call it a camp shirt? I'm not sure, but it's got like this Revere collar and short sleeves, but it's got a boxy fit, and I'm kind of considering making that. Any other suggestions that anyone can think of that would give the same sort of vibe would be appreciated, but I'm thinking that'd be quite nice. The pattern won't be broken up too much with seam line, so you would still see the tiling print. So what do you think? The original pattern is here. That could be a contender, I think. So obviously this is the so this was the white linen from the subscription box, Think recent box. So what I would like to make is trousers that are kind of 3/4 length trousers that aren't wide, to buck the trend, because that's kind of, I think, would be quite nice in the white, but we shall see. Again, what do you think I should make out of the white linen? Watch this space. Any comments and advice, welcome. So I've got a few plans for the week ahead, and I just want to finish up the things I've started as well, and make the sooner I make them, the sooner I can start wearing them, which would be fantastic, which is why we do it. And if anybody's got any ideas of some of the fabrics or patterns that I have mentioned, that'd be great. Thank you for stopping by and watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you can give me a thumbs up, that'd be great. If you'd like to watch my next one, that would be fantastic. Hope everyone is enjoying the nice weather and getting some sewing in. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye. God.